All right. All right. Back. But what's Erlang? That's a tough question because there are so many parts to Erlang. I mean, do you mean to clarify, are you talking about the language itself or the virtual machine? Open some more of these. Dell will open in a moment. So if you're going to be selling Erlang's, um, oh, this is a tough one. So in this case, you're going to be talking more about uh, deploying Erlang, like the reason why you would have Erlang in production, not Erlang the language, right? Because Erlang, like the other languages, have a different well, Erlang, the Beam VM has different languages that you can run on top of it. So I think your question is more targeted towards the Beam VM. You're not speaking about Elixir or Erlang or like the Lisp flavored Erlang, etc. You're talking more about the VM. Um, so usually Pretzel didn't start up. Let me kick Pretzel again. I'd say it's a, let's see, a fault tolerant language that is, let's see, it's got a very short dev cycle too. I think selling points for it: fault tolerant, high uptimes, and quick time to market. So fault tolerant programming language with, um, you know, high performance. I do think that Erlang has fairly high performance and good time to market. All right, got the music going again. So we were in font and text. What's text? Ooh, did I start this? I started this in the wrong place, didn't I? Oh, no. Okay, so you're Rust there. Font, text, there. And we're back. So those did get built, but they are gigantic. That absolutely destroyed Godot. I'm gonna bump these down to, let's say, 100 for now. The reason we never saw it is because we were too far zoomed in. Godot, Mac. Morning. There we go. Control. Get that loaded again. And OBS is probably going to be a fantastic companion here. And that has no idea what I'm doing. Okay. All right, there we go. Now if we scroll out a little bit, yes, there's the font. Holy cow. It's going to destroy this again. Oh wow, that was amazing. That is unreal. Okay, well hopefully we survive the net split again. Okay, now it shouldn't take as long to get set back up again. It's Kitty. There's Kitty. That crashed OS 10. Just poof, bye-bye. It's trying to kill Godot. The next thing I see is the login screen. All right. I think it's because of the size of the assets. Godot doesn't like that. Oh, it says it's still running. How is that possible? Process ID, blah, still running. Hold on. Whoa. So not everything died. Okay. Edit. Terminal 1. Close out of that. Tmux. Catch. T0. Okay. Oh, it did a little bit more than that. It didn't crash the whole thing. It seems to only have gotten rid of the session, but not the tmux pieces. That was interesting. Okay, we're gonna go into Godot again. However, this time we're not going to run the game. We're just going to look around in the editor to see if those elements are there. So one more time. Now should be here. We've got our text object. Oh, I probably don't have the screen set up. Um, You just made Ferris appear? Nice. Oh, it is there. Oh, goodness. Oh, please don't crash everything again. Please. Okay, well, it doesn't look like it's going to crash, but it is not happy. Yeah, that is not a happy thing. Close that scene. Okay. Created something too large for Godot to render comfortably. Um, we could set its transform to be much smaller. Yeah, yeah, you can install it as a package. All right. I'm gonna reduce that instance count, all that to just one for now. And I want to try to change the mesh to be much smaller. What was the count set to? Yeah, see, the instance count set way too high. That feels like it didn't build after we changed that. Um, that and pretzel didn't come back. There we go. There we go. Okay, hopefully that loads. I'm gonna quit Godot. I'm gonna quit the whole thing and restart it fresh. Suspecting some sort of memory leak. Uh-oh, did I move Kitty? I did move Kitty. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Run that. Alright, anyhow. Come back over here. Gotta get this resized. Yeah, this isn't going well. My box is not happy. All right, well, like when I switch to the Godot window, it doesn't actually register to the window manager. All right, let's see. Go to scenes. So bad. Screen. Okay. Look, there they are. Holy cow, what is going on with that? Those look like letters. Vertices. 26,000. Wow. Okay, let's change the view to wireframe. Okay, let's change this to maybe just like a W. Godot is just not doing it today. Okay, so that is just gigantic. Now, I'm going to change these to -1. I want to double check that. Let's see, I got to set up Firefox again. Yeah, that screen went blank, but I will fix that in just a moment. Because there. No wonder. I wonder if it did 10,000 of each one of those. All right, so let's see. Instance count. Default is 0. Number of instances that will get drawn. Interesting. Invisible instance count. Okay, so I have to be able to manage how many of these there are and where they are. Either that or just use meshes. I mean, this is arguably the more efficient way. But is it going to be that much more complex? Am I going to have to keep track of which A inside of the multi-mesh I need to transform? Ooh, that's going to be gross. So let's look at multi-mesh instance. Note that instance is a multi-mesh. Okay, not too much in there. It's got one property. It inherits a geometry instance, which has some stuff, but not a lot. That's off of a visual instance. Huh. So each one of those has its own global transform, etc., which is great. I guess I'm just wondering, how many of these does the multi-mesh need to know about? And is my tessellation actually too specific? Yeah, let's go fix the tessellation. Concerned about this here. Here, we set this to instance count to 1, visible count to 1. We'll leave that. I want to see one character rendered in Godot. Let's see how much something with curves is being tessellated. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that other scene. Oh, is he gonna pick it up this time? No, Godot isn't. Huh. Godot's not happy. I don't think I can actually resize the window at the moment. No. Strange. It's not even accepting key input. My system is not happy. Because it's not accepting key input, that means I'm not going to be able to. Oh wait, we can do. Let's do the S or the D. Let's do the D. Just cut that. Cut that. Good. Look at something else to lose focus in there. Now we should just have a D. And if we go to a wireframe, we can see how this D is being rendered. There's a lot of stuff there. That doesn't look like a proper D. Can I change the... Change the view. Alright, transform, let's scale that to a point. Oh, if I could only hit point. No. Oh, let's just use a resize bit here. That's much too small. Wow. Okay, so we have some meshes here. Now it looks like they're all still being rendered. There's a W in there. It's upside down, actually. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, well, the scale here is still upside down. That's probably why. Okay, now the scale's positive. Morning, Eric boy. Tessellation's not actually that bad. Probably a little too smooth. You can see in there some of these characters are much too smooth. I think these S's shouldn't have that. Shouldn't be that smooth. Let's just say it that way. Okay, so let's reduce the number of polys. You're a 14-year-old programmer trying to recreate Minecraft in Python. Sounds cool. Why Python? Okay, I'm going to try to save the scene. Save scene. If I close the scene and reopen it with just that letter D there. Can I? Okay, there we go. It closed. Oh, look, we have the letter D. Lovely. Okay, that we can work with. Blender. Blender would help you with modeling, but what are you going to be modeling? Minecraft isn't all that needy in terms of modeling. But Blender can probably do everything you need in terms of animations, creating the figures. Okay, you got the basics done. Yeah, that's cool. What are you using for your textures? Are you using Krita? Krita is a fantastic open source paint program. Okay, I'm gonna quit Blender, or quit this again. I suspect... Yeah, it's still running. I have to fix that later. Anything else? Good. Let's start Godot again. Hopefully this time I'll be able to interact with it. Now the window manager is still messed up. Oh well, we'll do the best we can. Okay. So if we need to reduce the number of triangles, let's go back over into font where this is happening. All right. All right, here's our fill test later. Now we need to be able to provide some more properties to this to be able to say, tone down the resolution. Let's go look at that. All right, here's docs.rs. We're going to go into You gotta go? Well, thank you for hanging out, Tommy. Okay, so if we want to use the tesslator, here we have a fill tesslator. There's also a stroke tesslator. Interesting. Let's do the fill one. Vertex sources. Okay, yeah. What's the options for this? Tessellate path, polygon, rectangle. I feel like I'm missing something in here. And fill options as input. Okay. Tolerance, here we go. Maximum allowed distance to the path when building an approximation. All right, so I think we can do a default with tolerance. And we give it some tolerance. Now the width tolerance, what is it by default? Default tolerance, do the source on that. 0.1. Interesting. I mean, if we do 10, because these things are gigantic at the moment, right? Part of the problem, I think, is that we need to be able to take our font and reduce its size a bit. So if we were to look at, let's say, this information that's coming in to the glyph builder, we're going to want these things to be much smaller. I think there was a hint on how to size these appropriately. Where was that? That was over in TTF parser. All right, yeah, all about it. You can read all sorts of stuff. Yeah. All right, so I want documentation. Is it face? Outline builder. So I think I want to multiply these by some value, just to be able to get it much, much smaller, which means I'm going to have to divide by quite a bit. Either that or I scale it in Godot. But last time we scaled something in Godot, it was like we're scaling it to 0.001. So I wonder what the sizes are, what the units are. See, it should be in here. Width, height. Oh, you know what? We should just be able to get the width and height of, let's say, one character, and that'll tell us what sort of scale we're working on. Although I know it's got to be in here somewhere. Okay. The rectangle that we get back here. Oh. The reason I'm doing this is because the tolerance for the tessellator is going to be affected by the size of the font, the size of the paths. So where did it go? For builder, we build it here. We get a box back. It's going to be the rectangle. And here. Take a reference to the bounding box. Yeah. Probably also want to know which glyph it is. Get the ID there. Okay. Should be good enough. Now let's start up Godot again. One more time. Alright, so stuff is starting. Now, the rectangle here says the Y minimum and X min 0.155. So these are huge units. They're very large. Okay, so we could divide by 1,000 or more. Wow. Or we just adjust it based on the scale. I mean, the graphics card isn't going to care as long as we get this, as we get it set up right. Okay, because these are just gigantic, and this was, it was rendering a D, wasn't it? So this D went from 0 to 1500. It's the full size of this, and we're dealing in meters. So it's 1,450. It's a kilometer and a half tall. That's not going to work. All right, so we have to adjust that here. say this is going to be, I don't know. We could do it by 2,000 or just divide it by 1,500. Get it down to a meter. So what were our other units in there? Yeah, at least this should get it close. I mean, D is fairly full size. We were doing a capital D there, and it came out to 1,400, 1,456. And that's a bounding box. That's not even the full height of this. I know, I'm just kind of not really certain. I keep wanting to come back in here and look at the font face information. As table, etc. Do they have some other website with tutorial? Let's go to the repo. Performance information, yes, great. But what are your units? Search for build. So the outline builder is taken by the font face build outline function. Character to glyph index mapping, fine. Hold on, I'm gonna let the dog out. Be right back. All right, and we're back. Ah, here we go. Pixels per EM. Allows selecting a preferred image size. Interesting. The chosen size will be closer to an upper one. So when the font has 64 pixels and 96 pixel image. And pixel per EM is set to 72. 96 image will be returned. What? 64. Okay. Are these supposed to be EMs then? So we had something that was, what was it, 1450? So if we divided that by 96, it should have been 15 pixels tall. So yeah, 16.5. Okay. All right, we're gonna do it this way. 9600. Glyph builder. Not a fan of the name. So this should take it down to, let's see, in this example, like a 0.15 or something. So like a much smaller section of a meter. And then we can scale that in Godot. Okay. All right, so that built. We're going to try to run it again. It was still running, but I cannot tab to it. Let's just see if we can kill it. 8218. All right, so it went away. This has not been Godot's finest day, gotta admit. Now that should have rendered the D much smaller, as you can see here. Let's go into the scene. Did OBS follow that? No, OBS didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. Come on, Godot. There we go. Nothing in here. I'm guessing it's because the scale here is now too small. I reset the scale. Looks much better. Many fewer vertices. Look at that. That's tolerable. We can do that. So we can probably just use the default on this then. Okay. Look at that. Display normal. That'll be all right. Yeah, no back. It's fine. If we scale that down, it's going to be even better. Nice, nice, nice. That's well within our tolerances. Still using the default fill options. Good. But this doesn't mean that this multiplier is going to have to be used on everything that gets returned. So we're gonna have to we're gonna have to do something a little creative with that. That's that up there. It's not going to be public. We're going to hide that in any of these pieces, like this rectangle here. I have to change that. Is R not? Oh, R is a glyph? Oh, I want the bounding box. Wow, okay. Feels weird calling it multiplier and then dividing. Oh, Rec doesn't have that. That's too bad. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to wind down. Getting kind of chilly in here. Gotta go warm up. I appreciate y'all coming along and hanging out, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more next time. All right, we're gonna read I Am Hardliner. I think we're good to go. So until next time, y'all. Bye-bye.